Hi, it's time for good energy, and I'm Dr. Julie at Endeavor Health and Chiropractic. And today is going to be a bit of a ramble. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and something about it set me off, and there are 6 gazillion ways I can go on with it. But I want to talk to you about how starting programs and not finishing them is a stressor on our body, but why we might start a program and never finish it, and how we need to cope with it. How do we need to deal with that? Because there are so many things that are bound up in starting things and not finishing them. So let's start at the beginning. This morning I was listening to a podcast called Mind Your Business, and the guest on was Jim Fortin. And he said a number of amazing things about business and strategy and how to get your brain and your mindset in the right place to do business. And then he went off on the section about having self-integrity. Self-integrity is if you tell yourself you're going to do something, then you do it. If you say, I'm going to start exercising every day, then you do it. And being self-integral or having self-integrity is a very important thing, because if you don't, you're out of alignment with yourself. Your body learns that you have said, I am going to exercise, and your brain, and you say, well, you know what, I'm not going to do it today. Your body learns that it doesn't have to. Your body and brain learn that they don't have to do what you say. You can say anything and they'll just go, she never finishes it, so we're not going to worry about it. We'll do it for 3 days and then we'll be done. That's all we're going to do. And then in the conversation, he goes on to do a brief sentence that says, sometimes we commit ourselves to things that we shouldn't, but that when we do commit ourselves, we have to go all the way in. And the host commented jokingly, well, then you should never say that you're going to commit to anything, even to yourself. And it was that one brief sentence, that sometimes you shouldn't say yes to committing yourself to something. And the idea that you should figure out what you should say yes to and what you shouldn't. And this is something called being self-discerning. Being self-discerning is very difficult, because we can look at a program and say, hey, Jan has been doing this exercise program for 3 weeks now. Look at her. She looks great. I think I should do this exercise program too. And the thing is that program may be great for Jan while she is currently in her current mindset. It may not be great for you in your current mindset and your physical place. You don't know that until you start the program, or until you step away from all the hubbub. Look at Jan, she looks great. She finished it, she's a success. If I finish it, I'm a success. And you got all these thoughts that are going through your head that I've got to do this program. I've got to do it right now. But you may not be in the right place. Jan may have already been in the right place, which is why she looks great. But we also don't know if Jan is truly a success. We just know that she looks great because she's done this program. So if you start now and you are not physically, mentally, environmentally ready to start it, then you will fail. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're not self-integral. You said you were going to do it. Well, it does mean you're not self-integral. Let's get to that point. It does mean you're not self-integral. It means you did go back on your word that you were going to do the program, but you didn't know until you got into the program that this was going to be what it was going to do to you. You didn't know that there were going to be warning signs that your body was going to give you that this is not the right thing. Maybe it's a canned nutrition package. And while you're doing the canned nutrition package, you suddenly realize you have gut gurgles and aches and pains. And you're like, yeah, but if I were a success, I would stick through this and keep going. That would be self-integral. But to be truly self-integral is to look at your energy and say, this program is trashing my energy. And instead of being integral to your word about completing the program, maybe you should be integral or self-discerning to your energy. You know what? This program is making me sick. I'm going to stop. And because I stopped, I am not a failure. I am not self-integral. I am honoring my energy, and I am stopping because my body isn't ready for this. Same thing can be said for an exercise program. Your body is flashing the warning signs, but the reason that you didn't stop was that you wanted to be self-integral, and because in the back of your head you set up X. Jan did the program, she looks great, she's successful. I need to do the program so that I look great, so that I'm successful. And because you've connected success with completing the program rather than connecting success with improving your energy, you connected it to this decision about your integrity, to this decision about your ability to succeed, to this decision about whether or not you are a good person. When you do that and then you fail, your brain is taking on that failure every single time and going, you suck. But if you fail, if you stop doing something because it's a stressor, because it's draining your energy, because it is not appropriate for your body now, that's actually success. So I was irritated. I was angered that they didn't stop and say, sometimes we commit ourselves to things that are not right for us. And in the act of committing to that and making the decision to do it, and or the decision being tied with all of this other emotional crap, then you end up doing exactly what he said. You end up lacking integrity. Self-integrity is gone because you've said you're going to do this. If you do this, you will be a success, and successful people do this. So I hope you can see where I'm going. Sometimes we commit ourselves to the wrong things. We should commit ourselves to energy. We should commit ourselves to honoring our boundaries. We should commit ourselves to things like that rather than committing ourselves to programs that are supposed to make us be all of these things to begin with. You need to remember what your why is. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? I'm doing this for to help people get better energy. I'm doing this so that I can get better energy. And if I start a program and it's not right for me, I am in integrity to quit. I am in integrity to stop because it is not consistent with my energy. Because it is causing me more stress than it is causing me good energy in. Now, sometimes we don't get out of bed because we need a kick in the pants. That's totally self-integrity. If you're not getting out of bed because you just don't want to, that's fine. If you're not getting out of bed because the kids were up all night and you were taking care of them and you don't have the energy to get out of bed this morning and exercise, that's still being in integrity. You're being in integrity to your energy, not to the program, not to anybody else, not to what you think is being perfect. You're being integral to your energy, and you're saying it's okay. Given the stressors that I've had in my life, it's okay that I don't exercise today. It's okay that I don't follow the program, or even it's okay that I stop the program because it's not right for me at this time. Now, I'll give you a little secret. It also involves forgiveness. Because when you've been out of alignment in the past, with your programs, you're saying, I'm going to do this program, and then you quit. Part of you has said, before you've started this program, if I do this program and I finish it, I will be an amazing person. If I do this program and I finish it, I will be a success. If I do this program and I finish it, ... You've set up so many of those if-then statements that rely on your personality and who you are. And identify you. So when you don't follow through with them, you don't feel like a success. You don't feel like you've done the thing you need to do. So you need to stop and forgive yourself for those past failings, regardless of what reason it was for. Maybe it was for energy. Maybe it was because you were too lazy to get out of bed. It doesn't matter. But if you don't stop and say, that was a different me. That was a me that made choices out of fear. That was a me that made choices out of stupidity. Maybe I was recovering from a hangover. You have to forgive yourself for that different version of you. Remember, you are a new version of you every single day that you wake up. And you can either live the patterns that you did in the past, or you can forgive them and move on. So, as I said, a very rambling day today. It was triggered by this concept of self-integrity, that if you say you're going to do something, even to yourself, you need to do it. It is true, but you need to evaluate it within the scheme of good energy and stressors. If completing that task is going to be more stressful than stopping that task, then you need to stop. And you need to say, it's okay. My identity is not tied to that. In fact, my identity is better because I've said no before I've completely stressed myself out. All right. I hope that you got something out of this. It was something that really annoyed me this morning, and I really wanted to talk about it. And I hope you are having a great early March. It's wonderful outside. Get outside, get some good energy in with the sun if you can. And I will see you next week. Take care.